What's going on, guys? Scott Hogan coming at you here. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Mevo Plus. The Skytrak had some more time with it, so let's do another comparison. This one we're going to go full on, give you everything I've found out about it so far, so help you can make a better buying decision. Let's do it. Before we get there, click that subscribe button down below and don't miss out on any future videos. We've got more with the units, and we're gonna have more about how you can use these units better to help your game. So with that, let's get to it. All right, so let's start talking about the units. Let's talk about what you get with them. So you get some stuff that goes with both units. The Skytrak, we'll do that one first. Very basic. You get the unit. If you ordered a case, obviously you get that too. I have the metal case with mine, which ironically actually makes the unit not perform as good. So I think even Skytrak knows that. I don't see it available for sale anymore on their site, but you know, there's some people that have done some machining of those cases to make them work better. The problem is you have a camera here and the case blocks the part of the camera in the front. So I've always had better results taking it out of the case. The issue is you're going to expose the unit to a shot. But anyway, so you get that, you get a level. All right, I don't use it. I found it not to be that useful because you can level in the software, and that's even better. But you get that. They do give you a power cord, and they're going to give you a power block as well. So that's pretty basic. You got your paperwork and all that stuff too, and then you go from there. You go download your softwares and things like that on your computer or your iPhone, iPad, all that good stuff. Flight scope, they're going to give you a case to go with it with the carabiner, which is nice if you're going to be taking it out, which I do. So that's actually really, really helpful. Inside of the case, again, you know, you'll have the unit. You're going to have a power block, a power cord. One note about the power cord is it's really, really small. Like mine doesn't even reach from the floor up to an outlet in my space. I think they're normal sized or normal height from the floor. So just keep that in mind. You might have to get a different outlet, and Flight Scope recommended me one to use, so we did that. From there, you get what's the simulator angle, this little wedge, and what this does is, because you know the angle of the Flight Scope matters. Now you can use this during the actual setup or while you're using the app. It'll tell you if it's at the wrong angle, so that's nice. But if you want to just have it for sure, you take this little thing, you're going to set it in. All right, so let's talk about connecting the units here now. So you've got it out of the box. What are you gonna do to connect? So Mevo Plus, a little bit simpler, which isn't necessarily better, but what happens is this will send out its own Wi-Fi signal. Now you connect to it by either entering the password, which is just the serial number of the unit. So you're gonna see that on the back. Now it's just the M2, whatever your number is, or you can scan this QR code and it will automatically put the password in. That's pretty nice. Although if you're like me and I have it set up most of the time, you know, I'm not going to move. I try not to move it as much as I can, so I don't have to set it up as much. So I just enter the password. Once you have it entered, your device usually remembers it. So that's how you connect on this. That does have a little bit of a problem because you're using your Wi-Fi to connect to this. So doing online play, you need another method to connect to the internet. So that just puts a little wrench. You're not going to be able to do that from an iPad, but you could do that from a computer. What I've heard is, you know, Ethernet cable or something like that you can do. Skytrak actually gives you a couple different options. So one, you can connect with the USB cord to your computer. It will work. However, I've always had issues with that, and I know it's pretty widely reported that having the USB cord in causes issues with the unit reading. So I just don't use that method. And actually, when I am playing, I try to take the cord out if I'm using the device. It just seems, you know, whether I just am feeling like that's happening or what, it just seems to work better. When we connect for the unit, then what I use is what's called the network mode, where this device actually can connect to the internet. So you have to go and connect the device to the internet, and then your computer is on the same internet connection. They will sync up and they will start to travel shots over the Wi-Fi connection. So you do need a faster Wi-Fi, or else it can have some delay. So just something to think about. Now there's also a third one, and this is actually how you set up the network mode, but it's called direct mode. And this device will actually send out its own Wi-Fi signal as well, and you can just connect connect to that, very easy to do. So it does let you go out on the range, do stuff like that, and be able to connect still to an iPad. I've done that one a lot with my iPad, testing it in other locations, going outdoors, things like that. So you can do that. So let's talk about one of the major differentiators of whether you're gonna buy a Skytrak or a FlightScope Mevo Plus, and that's gonna be the setups of the unit and where you have to position them. So what's really nice about the Skytrak is it's gonna sit up alongside the golf ball. So this is a photo system for what's gonna track the golf ball. So the golf ball is gonna travel, and there's a camera in here that's going to take pictures of the ball flying, and that's how it determines what the shot's gonna do. So you have this sitting up in front of the ball, okay, to the side, and then you hit the shot past the camera. Now, the part that hurts with this is that does put the unit in danger. So that's where you need things like maybe a protective case. Now, they used to have this plastic case, which I love a lot better. You know, this metal one you can use, and it does come with legs, so if you have to set it off the side of your mat, you're gonna put this in here, and the problem is when it's in here, you can see there's these bars here, and that starts messing with how the shot reads. So I definitely get some random results when it's in the case. However, this does get hit. I mean, depending on the type of player you are, you might be able to get away with it, but it's just not 100% guaranteed. If you're me, I'm using a lot of different people. This thing's been hit pretty hard, and the unit's actually flown out before. So it's one of those things where you just kind of know what you're doing and where you're setting it and who you're having over, whether you're going to use a case or not. I mean, I would recommend it. Otherwise, you got to send it back and have them look at it if the unit gets damaged. So that's the one thing. Now, the Mevo Plus sits behind. So this is a radar system. It sits behind the ball and it tracks the shot going forward. The thing that's going to happen with this is, again, now you're not in danger. One thing that happens though is you'll have people walk in front of this or stand in front. So if you don't have the room behind, that can be tough. Or you do need a minimum amount of distance. So this unit, they say they need 7 to 9 feet. You know, 8 feet's definitely kind of the recommended behind the unit. Mine sits 9. And then because it's radar based, it needs at least 8 feet of ball flight. So space becomes an issue for this unit. Whereas for the Skytrak, you really just need enough room for the unit to just see the shot and for you to swing. That's really it. So minimal space, this is gonna be the better choice that you would have. Also, one thing with the FlightScope Mevo Plus is because it's radar based again, they do want you to put a dot on these. So they give you these metallic stickers that you put on the ball, and that helps it read the spin better. With the Skytrak, you don't have to do that, but they do want a white golf ball that's clean, no logos. That does seem to help make it work better. So that's just something to look at as you're going through it as well. One thing I do want to point out with these units is the alignment process. So the Mevo Plus has this camera on the front. That's how you align the unit. When you go in the apps, there's a mode where you just say target alignment and it will turn the camera on and let you see what you're looking at. The Skytrak, you got to go into, they give you a level and then they have a slot on the metal case where you can put an alignment rod, but really the only way you can do this is getting into the Skytrak software, and there's a position where you go and you can click and it'll turn on a alignment mode where 2 dots will show up, all right, and then you're going to align to those dots. Now, people have done it with alignment sticks. I've done it that way, and it just doesn't seem to get the job done. What I actually started using is a laser, just a putting laser, and lining that all the way up to my target. It's really, really critical to get the Skytrak aligned perfectly to get really good shots and good reads. If it's off by even, you know, just the smallest margin, it really seems to affect the unit and how the shots read. So really important to get them aligned. What I like with this is it's just so much easier to do. It's right in the app. So like, let's say this gets bumped while somebody's hitting, which in my case happens all the time. And I can just stay in the app on FlightScope Golf and hit the button and get to alignment mode and reset it up and then continue going. For this, I have to get out and go all the way back to the start and get to that alignment mode. The other thing is if you're in E6, you can actually turn on alignment mode as well. You can't do alignment mode with Skytrak in E6. So really important there, something I think you would want to take into consideration as you're doing these units. One other thing with them is obviously the righty-lefty with the positioning of the units. Having FlightScope Mevo Plus, you can go righty-lefty on the same spot. If you're going to do that, you have to have it set up in the middle and have enough room both ways, but you can do that. With the Skytrak, obviously you have to go one direction. If you're gonna do righty-lefty, you have to flip the unit around. There's some people that have worked on workarounds for that, but again, I'm not so sure about those because you have to be so precise in lining this thing up that I think it can be a little bit of an issue as you go. So that's something that plays majorly into a consideration for what you're using it for. I know for me, that has a huge factor in what I do with the units. So just something to take into account when you're looking at the units. All right, let's talk hardware on these devices. So this is the Mevo Plus, where I'm going to use a iOS device is recommended. If you're going to use E6 Connect, you have to have an iOS device to play on an iPad. They do not use Android at all. That's E6 that does that, and they don't have any plans to integrate with Android. If you want to use the FlightScope Golf or the Skills app, you can use the Android devices. Now they're going to integrate. They're not integrated yet, but they're saying about 3 months from this video. Otherwise, iOS is your choice for phone. I use an iPad Pro and just the base level iPad Pro, and it works really good for the FlightScope apps, and it works really good for the E6. It does get a little choppy when I get around the green on some of the more high graphic areas, but it's not too bad. It's better on a computer, let's say that. You can do that. You can connect this to a computer for E6 as well. That's an option that you can, but you are going to need to upgrade your software. You do get 5 courses with the Mevo Plus as part of purchasing it, so you pay the $2,000 for it. You're going to get the units, you get everything we've showed you so far. You get 5 golf courses for the life of the unit. You don't have to pay any subscription fees, anything like that, and you're set. And the rumor is that they are going to rotate those 5 courses annually. We'll wait and see what happens with that, but that's the rumor is what they're going to do. So that's nice, but if you want more courses, you have that option. You can upgrade on E6. It's $300 for the base level, $600 for the more courses package, and if you want, you can pay a $2,500 lifetime one-time fee, and you have that. E6 on Skytrak is just going to work on your computer and iPad as well. But again, you're going to have their Skytrak software that works on everything right now, so it's already done. There are some different features. Skytrak has some cool features on theirs where you can basically set up targets, set up ranges. That's something you can do on the FlightScope Skills app, and work on setting up a target where it will score you. It'll compare you to PGA pros and stuff like that. The Skytrak, it has some games and stuff like that, but it's just like a point system within the game. So I haven't really seen any stats or data like comparing it to something. So you could take the data though, you definitely can export it and get it into an Excel sheet and take your info and go look at it. FlightScope, it's nice because they actually have the myflightscope.com where all your data gets uploaded anyway, so you could just go online, look at it, and you could do the same comparisons, or, like I said, in the FlightScope Skills app, they're already making that comparison for you. You can kind of see where you stack up. So that's pretty nice. Skytrak, though, I've used it mainly on a computer, and it runs good. Just depends on the Wi-Fi for the day and how that goes. E6 runs really good. That's actually been a nice addition for me. I was with other softwares. Just E6 very clean and very, very, very friendly to having simulator people in, and you don't have to know a lot to make it run. Whereas in other ones, I had to like Bluetooth connect, and then you had to set up different things inside of a different software to get it running, and then you'd start up the game software. Again, E6 is extremely easy with that. So they're both very similar on the softwares. Again, you're just going to have more apps. The one thing that's cool with the FlightScope app is when you're doing it, if I take my phone and I'm using the app, I can set my phone on a tripod, and it will actually take videos. This will act as a trigger with my phone, with the app that you already have, and it's just going to take a video of that swing and it'll overlay your data. Now, Skytrak has done that with Swing Catalyst, but that's an upgrade that you have to purchase. The other thing with Skytrak I didn't mention is you have to pay a yearly subscription to use all these features. It's $100 a year for game improvement. They have a $200 a year option, but if you're gonna use like E6 Connect or the golf club, any of those, you have to pay that $100 plus you have to pay whatever it is for the software. So, you know, if you're gonna do the base E6 Connect, you're looking at $400 a year just to run the software. So again, you get 5 courses lifetime with this one. So just something to think about. And then if you're gonna do something like the video integration, you're gonna have to pay more for that, and that's I think $450 a year with Swing Catalyst. So it really starts to add up pretty quick as you go through. So it's a little bit of info about the units, what we've had so far, some of the good, some of the bad. Let's talk about now what you're really here for. You wanna see them in action. So we're gonna fire them up. We've had chances to use them a little bit. I've got a chance to know the Mevo Plus a little better so we can kind of figure out some of the things that make it run the best. Same with the Skytrak over having it for a couple years. So we're gonna set them up. We're just gonna play a hole of golf, all right? We're gonna play a hole on E6, let you see it. We'll hit putting, we're gonna have chipping. Hopefully, maybe I'll miss the green and show you a chip shot. We'll do that and let you see them in action. Okay, hit a low cut with that. Definitely was a low cut. That's a little bit straighter on the Skytrak. I hit it on the heel, so I would expect a heel cut. 239.8, 2,500 RPMs a spin, 3,800 RPMs a spin, 251. I didn't hit it very good, so I'd say I'm not expecting to get 250 out of that one, but did hit more of a fade on the Mevo Plus. Okay, so because of that, we got different yardages, so that's good. We've got 107 to the flag, and we got 99, and we got different locations. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna play towards this green, but let's just see what the shots read as I'm playing, okay? So let's get our dot set. I'm gonna hit one towards the right side and try to miss the green on actually just try to go short. That's all I'll try to do. Okay, you can see the speed differences for sure, but not bad, not bad. So let's see how far those shots went. 73 yards, 7,400 RPMs to spin on Skytrak, 7,000 on Mevo Plus. So that was pretty good. Now we're in that kind of tricky range. I feel like we're 30 yards away and we're 80 feet away on the Skytrak. Again, I'm closer because of the pins too. It randomly sets the pins, and there we go. So 30 yards. Let's try to hit a 30-yard pitch. Okay, there it goes. Little deep, little deep. Let's see, more spin. More spin, 44 yards, 67, 6,800. Okay, pretty darn good for both. The only thing we saw was the direction on that the direction on that tee shot up, and then it putted me out on them for the other one. All right, so we'll have to do a little demo. Let's hit this little chip on the green for Skytrak, okay? All right, not too shabby. All right, so we're gonna do a little putting test. So we had the putting not on the simulator. So we moved it over to a practice screen. I wanted to show you what it's like putting. So with the Mevo Plus, FlightScope says take the dot off the ball. So I did, and then Skytrak, we just go from there. Skytrak, they like for you to point the logo up at the unit. That helps it read a little better. So let's see what we get. Okay, 20 feet. And I don't putt a whole lot on these personally, but some of you do. Let's see, so there goes. They both went. Missed it a little to the right on both. I rolled a little, I hit it 22 feet. I hit 26 feet on the Skytrak. I like that they both just read. That's nice. Let's do one more and see what we get. Skytrak definitely is faster. Okay, and they're set on the same speed. So something to check out there. I would definitely say if there's a weakness in both units, it would be putting, but I guess it just depends on which one you like. They both went the same direction. That's good. They both went, you know, kind of the same lines. It's just the speed differences there in that. So I'm not sure what that could be. As we go, as we test it out, maybe we'll find out and we'll let you know. But anyway, not bad. Both work pretty good. Both are similar. Again, I think it's just going to depend on what setup you have that works for you to put the units, but that was pretty cool. All right, so that was Skytrak versus Mevo Plus using E6 Connect. Again, we'll let you formulate your own opinions on the devices. I know where I stand with them, but we just want to help you make better buying choices. Again, your environment is going to have a real big factor in this decision. So seeing that, they're both great units. They both can give you a great home golf experience. And I think both can help you get better, but that just depends on what your situation is. We're very lucky here to have that space where we can make both of these units work. So again, if you have any questions, thanks so much for the support on our last Skytrak versus Mevo Plus video. Really appreciate it. If you have any more questions, comments, please leave those down below and we will get to them. And as always, click that subscribe button and we will see you in the next video.